That's weird. That's weird. Kind of weirding me out.
You are a sad, strange little man.
Crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Isn't that weird?
That's weird, man.
It's strange.
What's up, campers? Welcome back to episode 200 of Camp Strange. I'm your camp counselor, Alex Tobin.
And I'm your other camp counselor, Raj Al Ghul.
and we're back to bring the spooky, wacky, weird, strange, and Owl. But before we do, we got to catch up on any of the weird news you may have missed. And Raja, do you want to start?
Yeah. Video. Car hits divider as drunk youths perform threesome with woman inside speeding vehicle in presence of 4 kids in Upcompar.
What's that last thing you said? In
UP's Kempur, like in India.
Oh, okay.
Am I saying that right?
I thought that was a type of car.
No, I don't know what UP apostrophe S is.
That's an area? Ups?
Probably. Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, Uttar Pradesh. Pradesh is.
Oh, it's a
Providence, an area.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's an abbreviation, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoa. Did you say they're having a threesome in a car with a lady?
Yeah, car hits divider as drunk youths perform a threesome with woman inside speeding vehicle.
I wonder if the driver was involved in the threesome. Probably, right?
He was, yes.
Oh. And when they say lady, they make it seem like they're probably, they're youths.
Confirming.
They're youths.
Yeah. Not really. There's not a lot of age specifications in here. It doesn't really say how old they were. A lot of the information appears to be written in Hindi?
I think that's... I am out of my jurisdiction right here.
Yeah.
If the language isn't exactly the name of the country, I'm a little scared.
Yeah,
when I found out Brazilians speak Portuguese, I was like, no, that's what they speak in Portugal.
Yeah,
and they go, no.
It's confusing.
They don't speak, and then Chinese and they're like Mandarin and Cantonese, and I'm like,
yeah.
Anyway,
I Cantonese believe it.
I Cantonese believe that they hit a divider. They were so close to getting home.
Yeah, and there were 4 children in the back.
Wait, we didn't even... Okay. What?
Yeah.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah, it's very confusing with not a lot of information, but God, you can't skip that headline.
Nope, it's pretty cool as long as everybody's alive.
I hope someone's pecker didn't get bit off on that collision.
You know what the weird thing is? Someone did. But it wasn't what you thought.
I don't know what that means.
I was about to tell the joke, but I was like, then we're getting kind of graphic. So I'm going to stop.
Yeah.
It was after the fact.
It was after the fact someone's pecker got bit off?
Yeah, and it was the guy who bit his own off.
Oh, I see.
You know?
I don't.
Fuck.
All right. Why don't you just move along?
Can we start over?
Move along.
Oh, I'm just going to bite my own pecker off. Oh, God. Okay. People unwell after a woman approaches them with bag.
Honestly, I don't want to know. I don't want to know more. That's
bitten off pecker in the bag.
Off the bone.
No, but don't say that. Anyway, I feel like you're... Never mind. Okay, I was... So, it says 2 people have been taken to the hospital after a woman approached them with a bag, leading them to feel unwell. This was in the UK, I think like in London. It says 2 people, they said where it happened and what time. It says 2 people are experiencing breathing difficulties and itchy eyes as a result, the force said. And my favorite part is they never said what's in the bag in this fucking article, and it's from the BBC.
Wow. They don't even know. It's an object of unknown origins. They don't even know what it is.
So they removed it. It says the guy who saw the scene said it was quite frightening because it was so close to work, and he said I saw people in hats. That's why it was frightening. Oh, not my work. I saw people in hazmat suits, loads of ambulances, police cars. I've never seen anything like that before. It was out of the ordinary. And I looked at like the Reddit page I found it on, and just to try to get an answer because there's no reference of what was in the bag, and they're saying that they believe it's one of those, what's the word I'm looking for? Like
heavily radiated.
No. Like where people, it's like everybody drank the Kool-Aid, where it's like nothing's actually happening to them, but they're believing
like a
it's
placebo.
Like, yeah, kind of like an alien sighting. Because like there's one. I'm not trying to say that alien sightings aren't real. We don't know that, but there was this one like alien sighting where basically they went to the town and like everybody claimed to have seen it, even though most people like did not see it. You know what I mean? And
Just
it was
trying to get in on the action.
It's like a collective consciousness, and I think that's what happened with this, where it's like if you have, like you said, the placebo effect. If you think that something makes you sick, okay, perfect example. Have you ever been around someone who goes, "I think I might be getting sick," and then all of a sudden you start feeling sick?
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, you're completely fine, and you're like, "Oh, I didn't get sick, but my body like tricked me into feeling ill because I thought I was in the proximity of illness."
Yeah, my body's always tricking me into things.
My body tricks me to think I'm feeling healthy.
Yeah.
Those bruises are getting bigger. How does it get bigger?
It keeps growing inside of yours. You got to cut it out.
Yeah, it's like it started off as like a baseball. Now it's like half my body.
Yeah, you got to cut it out. You got to find the worm.
I'm looking. I'm straight up looking like Harvey Dent over here, Raja Ghul.
It's overtaking your body.
It is. I need help. But yeah, so no, I don't think anything was in the fucking bag. I think it was like a big hoax, and that lady is forever cursed. Can't bring bags anywhere anymore. People are gonna fucking light her up, lay her out,
gun her down in the streets.
There she is. She's riddled with bullets. She's like, "I don't feel well." And someone's like, "It's the bag you've been carrying, asshole."
Yeah, it's the bag that's making you feel this way.
If you let go of the bag, the blood will go back in your holes. That sounded bad.
Ooh,
Bullet holes? Bullet holes.
Like that. Yeah.
Bullet holes. Oh. Anyway, please say the next. I just keep saying dumb shit today.
At Olympic swimming heat, Bob the cap catcher saves the day. You see this video?
No.
So I almost did a story on this. There wasn't enough information to actually make a full story out of it, so I didn't. But like a few years ago, there was a athlete in the Olympics who came from. It was like an African country. I forget where it was.
UP''S.
Something. And he had like basically he was like a good athlete, and so they just signed him up for it, but he didn't actually know how to swim.
Oh, stop.
And he almost drowned at the Olympics. And so since then, they now have lifeguards at the Olympics, which sounds silly, but you know, who knows what could happen.
I was gonna say that it's actually a smart idea to have lifeguards just in case, like sometimes like Olympians they'll like, especially swimming, like you'll hit your head on like the I like how I was like, you definitely need lifeguards, especially for swimming. I'm like, I'm so fucking stupid. Yeah, you can hit your head on the side of the pool like when you're doing the turn, or people be going balls to the wall and they'll like push themselves past their limit, and like maybe inhale water or something like that. But I thought they had qualifiers for Olympics. Like, how the fuck did that guy get that far without having to like swim?
I don't know.
That's
but I mean,
crazy.
you look at South Sudan, who's like a newer country who has a basketball team in there.
Did you say Did you say the car?
South Sudan.
I think it's Sudan.
Sudan. That's beside the fact.
Sorry. I just didn't want you to get canceled after the whole UP''S thing.
But I guess like in that entire country, they don't have a single indoor basketball stadium.
I don't know if that's surprising to me.
Yeah, I don't really know much about them, but it is a cool story that they won a game. They almost beat the U.S. in the like qualifying stages or whatever that was.
Oh, really?
I think the U.S. won by like 2.
That must be really interesting. I mean, I actually maybe they've never played on like an indoor basketball court, but I wonder how much that actually changes like the game.
Well, typically, like you can't have an outdoor court with wood floors.
Yes,
because the weather would destroy the wood floors, and like basketballs move drastically different, and you move drastically different. Like
true.
On concrete.
Yeah, I mean, I bet it's so much more grippy. They probably had like way better ball handling, like being on there, or maybe it like overcorrected and it was actually bad because they were like turning early. You know what I mean? Like if your reflexes are off by a little and you guys are like running certain things, like it could affect your game quite a bit.
It definitely feels better on the legs though, in the back.
Oh really? What's up with wood courts? What's like underneath the wood? Is it just the wood itself that's just like softer compared to concrete?
It absorbs more impact and stuff. But okay, back to the story.
I thought it was
so someone's head cap, like their hair cap, fell off in the pool, and they're like, "Well, we can't just leave it there." And so the lifeguard got to come out and dive into the pool to go get it, but he was
in his little underwear.
He had a little floral Speedo. He's not in bad shape for an older guy, but he's definitely not like in Olympic shape. So
he's
really
in
funny.
he's in my shape.
He got like a tiny little belly, like, you know, he wasn't huge or anything like that, but it was just very funny to see a normal looking dude go out there in a tight little floral Speedo and dive in to go get something.
I was gonna say I thought the whole comical thing about it was not necessarily that he was not like Olympic level fit, which does add a little comedy to it, but I thought he was wearing his underwear. Was that a Speedo or is that
was a Speedo? It looked like underwear.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it was like he just like jumped in. I saw some guy jump in. I was like, I have no idea the context of this, but people be loving it. So
oh yeah, Bob the Cap Catcher.
We all need something to rally around, you know? And if it's the Olympics, it can't be sports. It has to be something like Michael Phelps smoking weed, man.
Mm-hmm.
That was so cool.
That was the coolest.
I miss that. Remember when like Ryan Lochte like said he got like jumped and he lied? He just with a bunch of prostitutes and stuff.
Yeah. I think he did get robbed by a prostitute, but
that's so good. Imagine she stole his gold medal.
Did she not?
No, I think this was during the games or something like
that.
Okay. I could be wrong though. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that guy's like dumber than a brick apparently. So I hope he doesn't listen to this podcast. I'm sorry if I said that and you listen, Ryan.
He probably does. This is the type of content he likes.
It's dumb enough. Speaking of dumb enough, Skibbity Toilet film and TV franchise in the works with Michael Bay.
I thought that was a joke.
Nope.
Is that real?
It's fucking real, dude. It's in Variety magazine. People at work were talking about it. I can't believe it. I think they saw what happened with Five Nights at Freddy's. And they're like, these little fucking idiots will eat anything up if it's like IP that they connect. Like, that's their IP, which I totally get. Like, I always say this. If you want to be like a musician, like a popular musician, or like make something that will get like a ton of views or a ton of numbers, like aim it at children, because they have so much time that they will fucking just listen to all the music. They will watch all the YouTube videos, watch all of the movies. It's like, it's crazy how much kids interact with media, and adults are just like, I'm too busy. I don't have time for that.
I have one question.
What?
So are you publicly stating that you are targeting children? And that you are advising others to target children?
I don't target them, but if they walk by me and I have my bag,
Yeah.
let's just say they start feeling so well. No, I do not target children. Except for with my music. That's why Kids Bop is still a fucking thing.
Is it?
Kids Bop is a thing.
Huh? It's
It's just crazy because they're like, okay, like kids will fucking listen to this because it's like the clean version, I guess, too. But
Yeah.
I don't know how you make some of these popular songs clean.
No.
It's crazy. It's nuts.
All right.
But wait, we didn't. Just real quick. There's people out there who don't even know what Skibbity Toilet is, David. Can you explain to them what Skibbity Toilet is?
I'm going to be honest. I will explain it to the best of my ability, but I really don't know what it is myself. All I know is that they're weird videos made with Gary's Mod, which
Yes.
is you could call it a game. It's kind of a game.
It's
but
Half-Life, right?
well, no, it's all of Valve's IPs
Oh, okay.
put into a sandbox, and so you can make your own games.
Like Team Fortress as well.
Yeah. Portal,
Mm-hmm.
Half-Life. And you could make your own custom games with it, like using their what's the word I'm looking for? Like kind of like skins from their games. Like you can take their characters and put them in scenarios. And what I know about Skibbity Toilet is that they basically put the main villain from Half-Life, which his name is Mr. Mr. R?
I don't know.
I forget what his name is. It's been years since I played Half-Life 2. And the cowards won't make a third.
Is this their rollout? Is this like, did they wait for Skibbity Toilet to get so big to roll out Half-Life 3?
I don't know. But that's an ongoing thing that Valve doesn't do a third game. Because they've made Portal 2, they've made Left 4 Dead 2, they've done Team Fortress 2, they've done Half-Life 2, but they've never done like a third. They've never completed a trilogy on any of their IPs. But so they took the main villain from Half-Life and they put his head in a toilet and like made him scarier looking.
Yep.
And I believe
he sings a song.
I don't know if that is true. I don't know if the song came before or after. It's kind of a chicken and egg thing for me. But I believe like they like attack the world and they're like giant heads in toilets. That's as much as I know.
And then there's like camera guys or something like that. There's like people with camera heads, and our buddy Craig, I guess somebody brought it up to him, and they were saying something about like how Chris, our other buddy Chris, said he watched like 13 episodes of Skibbity Toilet because they're all like
shit.
Well, they're like 30 seconds long, but he said like it's really a metaphor for how much we're on social media or how much we film things. I'm like, don't give this deeper meaning. It's a guy going like skibbity dup dup there, ibbity dup dup there. That's what he's doing, right?
I have no idea because I know there's that one big Indian guy who shakes his belly to like the skibbity song.
Yeah.
Which I kind of assume that he originated that song and then that went into it. I really have no idea though.
Oh, that's a good question. Well, anyway, Michael Bay, director of Transformers, is going to be making a Skibbity Toilet fucking movie. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, what is that?
I'm curious. Is it going to be live action? Is it going to be animated? What?
I don't know, but can I say something controversial just about video game movies? I think video game movies are going to be the next comic book superhero movies.
Yeah.
And
if they can do them right. I mean, I like the Mario movie. Was it perfect? No, but I enjoyed it.
No, that was fine. Maybe it's because I didn't love the video game in the first place. I mean, I liked it. I didn't love it, but I have like no interest in seeing that Borderlands movie.
Borderlands 2 has a very special place in my heart. It's one of my favorite video games ever made.
But does the movie reflect that?
No, the movie looks like absolute total dog shit.
It's like, I don't know. It just looks like it's like Marvel. It just kind of gives me Marvel vibes. And I just saw Deadpool 3. It was good. It was funny. I liked it. But I just like, I don't know. I feel like they should have went a different direction with it. And Eli Roth directed it. He's a horror movie director. He did Hostel and like Cabin Fever and shit. So it's like, it's just so weird.
Yeah, the immediate problem with it is that they casted way too old of people to play young people.
Oh, yeah. Kate Blanchett and, like, Kevin Hart.
They're supposed to be playing, like, 20-year-olds.
I think they wanted star power, but...
The other confusing part to it is that they have Lilith, who's Kate Blanchett, and Roland, who is Kevin Hart, who are two of the main characters from the first Borderlands. And they become, like, NPC, non-playable characters in the second one, so, like, they're there. But then they also have Tiny Tina, who is being played by the young girl, and Krieg, who was a downloadable character for the second Borderlands, so he wasn't even in the original setting of it.
Uh-oh. This guy's letting his nerd show.
Yeah, so basically they took 2 out of 4 characters from the first one, 2 characters...
You're a purist.
One playable one from the second one, and they're just kind of mixing the 2 things together, and it doesn't make sense. And then they're leaving out major characters that should be there but aren't.
I just mean from like the trailer, I was just like, yeah, this kind of looks like a generic like movie where I know exactly everything that's gonna happen. It might be cool as like in a spectacle and being like, oh, cool car and like bullets and flying, but like I think it's just gonna be pretty like safe, whatever it is. So whatever, it's
gonna
fine.
be dog shit.
It'll be fine. They'll make money on it probably, but we'll see.
And I love Jack Black, but why not just hire the actual voice actor to play Claptrap?
I know. Well, they do that with all the fucking animated ones. They're just like, it's Chris Pratt as Garfield, as Mario, as Lego Guy.
And it's frustrating because the games have good or at least the first 2 have good stories. Third one is a terrible story, but the best gameplay. But it's like it was all laid out for him. I don't know why they decided to make things different.
Because they're studio executives. That's what they do. Make things difficult. Anyway, okay. Well, we should probably get into these stories.
Oh, I thought we weren't doing stories. I thought we were just going to read the results from the Olympics. For episode 200, we're just going to go down the list and name off what countries won.
China, 6 gold. I think
they won the air pistol. Pretty cool.
What's an air pistol?
Believe it or not, it's a pistol that uses air.
What does it shoot?
I actually don't know. BBs? No.
So you're telling me they're targeting children?
Yeah.
They shoot babies?
BBs. Like a BB gun. Pellets. I don't know what they fucking shoot.
Too late. Canceled, bitch. Okay.
Oh, they shoot targets. I thought you meant like what comes out of the gun.
Oh, well, I don't know anything about any of that shit. Seems like a made-up sport. I don't know. I just saw them racing. I saw them doing horse jumping, and I was like, I feel like the horse should get the medal. Anyway. Yeah. But, okay. So, let's get into these stories. All right. Now, David, you know, like when you choose a story, and then you're like, this is going to be funny and interesting. And then you're like, oh, this is just kind of like... sad. Not sad. It is sad, but it's more interesting than sad. It's fine. It happened a long time ago. But today, I'm going to be going to foggy old London town to tell you about a building of great infamy.
Okay.
Yes. This is a building where a man by the name of Richard Dad went to because he killed his dad thinking that he would thinking that he was the devil.
Okay.
Oh,
Bad daddy.
I saw a picture of a.
Did you watch that video I sent you?
Yeah,
It's so good.
I saw a picture of a red thing, and it made me think of the scary guy with horns. Like you're 40 years old. Stop being scared of the devil.
Yeah. I went to Catholic school. I was terrified of hell, and I turned 8.
Yeah. I heard a song, and it reminded me of the bad guy. Anyway, no. So yeah, like I said, this place held a guy who killed his father because he thought he was the devil. Can you think of the place that I'm talking about?
The murder hotel?
No, but it did.
Big Ben.
It did. This place did inspire American Horror Story, season 2 specifically. But that's right. I'm talking about Bethlam Royal Hospital, or should I say, Asylum. And it's one of the most
That was a good
infamous.
season.
Yeah, it was a good season. One of the most infamous asylums in the world because of really how old it is. But let's get into it. So, founded in 1247. Crazy. Bethlehem Royal. I don't even know what the fuck was happening. Wait. What happened? Just to paint the picture for you guys.
I am curious. Anal was invented.
Wait, I gotta find one thing that like people know of that happened this year. Egyptian forces under Sultan Asahi Ayub capture Tiberius and his castle.
The old sultans.
Yeah. Summer King Henry the Fat sends Kirpiot squadron of 8 galleys with 100 knights. Okay, I don't know what happened, but it seemed like people were fucking using swords and shit still.
Yeah, no iPhones yet.
No iPhones. This is a long time ago. Anyway, I'll come back to that. So in 1247, Bethlehem Royal Hospital was established by King Henry III, maybe the Fat, in the city of London, England. Some may say, hey, that's pretty progressive to create an institution for the mentally ill at a time when there is nothing of the kind. But oddly enough, the sprawling establishment and grounds were not initially designed to hold the mentally ill, but instead created for the collection of alms to support the Crusader Church and to link England to the Holy Land. So, this was during the Crusades, I think.
Jeez, no.
Wait, wait.
No fucking
When
way.
were the Crusades? Oh,
Is
no.
AD or BC?
Oh, wait. The Crusades were done in 1095. Oh, shit. No, spanning more than 2 centuries. Wait, CE. Fuck. Oh, God.
Wait, what's CE?
I don't know. I've never. No, I think this is during the Crusades, so-called High Middle Ages.
Crunchy Eternal.
Wait, what's
Crunch Wrap Eternal.
What's CE stand for? Oh my God, this is crazy. Common Era. Oh my God.
It's not that common anymore. Change it.
Yeah, I only know BC, before Christ, and after death. That's all I know. Common Era. So this was during the Crusades, technically, because the Crusades lasted for a couple hundred years. So it was the end of the Crusades, or they only had like 50 more years.
The tail end.
Yeah. But they were collecting alms, which is just like donations, basically, to support the Crusader Church.
Almonds.
Almonds.
Like that? Is that what they're saying? Almonds?
Yeah. Almond joys. They also collected mounds because no one ate either one because they fucking suck. So, another one.
They've been in circulation since.
Yeah, it's the same almond joy since 73. Since 1247, really. So another one. So that's why they built the church. Is this building is to be like, oh, we collect alms at this place, and we want to connect England to the Holy Land. Another one of its uses was to provide refuge for the poor if they visited the church, or not the church, the building, as well as other not biblical, I say church figures who would visit from out of town. So like priests and other cardinals and bishops could like stay at this place. It was kind of like we have open doors for poor people and people of the church and, all this kind of stuff. So over the years, the establishment slowly became a care center for the needy, funded off of charity and taxes. Very nice. And in 1330, it officially became a hospital as it added 350 beds to its sprawling and gated grounds. The grounds, it was actually like a really big, like dome-like structure that had like sprawling grounds and gardens and gates, and it was like really nice actually. and it was
Yeah,
just
they
on
loved
the.
dome back then.
the oh my god! Imagine, so stinky.
Big dome. Cloud in the dome.
Yeah, cloud.
Yeah, all that stank. It's so stanky up there. It just.
Are we
started
talking
looking like a
about?
cloud.
I think we were talking about different dome. Anyway, so, ba boop ba beep ba. Yeah, it was a really nice building and like really nice grounds but it's difficult to say when like the actual hospital began to take the insane, as they called them. I don't know if that's a derogatory term, but I'm gonna use it because I'm using their terms. So it was kind of hard to figure out when they started taking the insane in, but it was estimated that what?
The puppy's doing his weird noise thing. If you guys hear that, he goes, "Mm."
I'm not insane. I'm just
That's what
a
I wake
little
up to every
unwell.
morning. I wake up to, "Mm, mm."
I don't like that.
And he does this little move. I don't know how he does it. I've never seen him do it, but he always jabs me with his claws.
Oh yeah, when you're sleeping.
Jabs. Yeah.
Yep.
Just jabs me like right on the ribs.
Yep.
And he
He
goes,
knows.
"Mm, mm."
I don't like that at all.
It drives me nuts.
Next, you were ugly anyway.
He a handsome boy.
No, I'm
Now he's just
talking about.
crawling around the ground like a fucking worm. Stop it.
So,
Sleeping a minute ago.
yeah, it was difficult to say when they started taking insane people in, but it's estimated that the mentally ill began to be committed in 1377, about 27 years after the hospital opened. What would happen next would be a result of good intent gone wrong, as the haunted and horrifying history of the building would go on to live in infamy even to this day. As they say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So it seems like most insane asylums this happened to, where they're like, oh, cool, we're going to open up an insane asylum. And then all of a sudden they didn't have the money or the staff. And then they're like, that guy's covered in shit. I'm not cleaning him. Well, I'm not cleaning him.
I'm not touching him.
So
Just throw him in that room until he's not covered in shit.
they're like,
And then
it's a
he's dead.
white room, man. They're like, ugh, why do we make these rooms white? So, just to preface these haunting stories, the Bethlam Royal Hospital eventually became known as Bedlam Hospital. And the word Bedlam is defined as a scene of uproar and confusion. And that's exactly what the hospital became. So, just a little bit more backstory to this. This hospital actually inspired like a ton of plays at the time, like live theater.
Okay.
And there would be like plays about like basically insane people, and they started using the word bedlam in like the plays to talk about insane people, and all these characters were like insane, and you'll figure out why it became so ingratiated in the culture. But that's where the Bethlam Royal Hospital began to be known as the Bedlam Royal Hospital, because it became so well known and people started calling them like Bedlam, and saying the word Bedlam and using crazy characters, that people associated craziness with Bedlam or with Bethlehem. I don't know, but they started calling it that as like a nickname, because they're just like, yep, it's like literally a fucking nightmare in that building. So
I thought they just changed it to like as a PR stunt.
any press is good press.
Well, there's a Mexican restaurant in Eugene that
Called Diarrheas.
it changed its name like every year, because I think every time they fail a certain amount of health inspections, they change their name. But man, I love that place.
Dude, there's a hot chicken place up the street, and they've rebranded like 3 fucking times. They don't even have a real sign. They have like the vinyl printed out poster thing that's held up by rope, and they keep changing it. And I'm like, dude, it's called like the Cluck Express or something like that.
Sounds good.
Yep. So the first record of the insane were found in ledgers indicating 6 male inmates were noted as mente capti, a Latin term indicating insanity. The report of the visitation also noted the presence of 4 pairs of manacles. I don't know what those are. Let me see what manacle is really quick. I have it right here. Oh, handcuffs. Okay. 4 pairs of manacles, 11 chains, 6 locks, and 2 pairs of stocks. But it is not clear if any or all of these items were used to restrain the inmates because they weren't, of course, writing that down on the ledger. They're just kind of being like
2:30 p.m. like locked up Lester again.
Throw a tomato at his face while his head was in the stocks. Like classic. I'm gonna write this into a movie. So later, patients would come to Bethlam suffering from complaints such as chronic mania or acute melancholy, depression, and people were just as likely to be admitted for crimes such as infanticide, homicide, and even ruffianism, meaning violent, lawless, improper, wicked, or immoral behavior. So basically, they're trying to say that people who are manic, people who are depressed, people who killed another person, killed a baby, or just were doing like lawless stuff, they all went to this place. It was like a catch-all for
It's like a prison.
people that they're just like, there's something wrong with your brain, but like somebody could be like, I have depression, and they're like, you're going in with the guy that murdered his fucking family from paranoid schizophrenia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll get into that, but mental illness was completely misunderstood at the time, and epileptics, another one, and people with learning difficulties and dementia were classed in the same group as people suffering from paranoia, schizophrenia, and depression. Like, it's different. It'd be different. So you might think it was great that these people were admitted to a place so well suited to help them. But that was usually not the case, as most patients were more commonly subjected to isolation and or experimentation, aka torture. So we're gonna go into the 3 things that they mainly did in terms of trying to heal these people, since they didn't know what the fuck to do. So patients were subject. Skin
Just
was
take
the problem.
all their skin off. Yeah.
I think the skin was the issue.
And to no skin, then the demons can't be trapped.
I thought there was a lizard under there. I'm not gonna lie. I thought there was a lizard under there. So patients were subjected to treatment such as rotating therapy, wherein they were seated in a chair suspended from the ceiling and spun as many as 100 rotations per minute.
Like front flipping, back flipping, or like left and right.
I cannot figure it out.
I think it's front flipping.
So if okay, here's what I think what it was. I think, like when you sit on a swing and you spin the swing around a bunch of times.
Oh, you like tighten up the rope on each side and then let it go?
Yeah, and I think they did that. So it was probably really fun, actually.
It's probably better than front flipping.
Oh my God, you cured my schizophrenia. Who would have thunk?
I just need to spin my brain around a few times.
So they did have a quote unquote scientific reason for doing this, and it says the obvious purpose, was to induce vomiting, a popular purgative cure for most ailments during this period. This was because medieval physicians believed that mental illness existed in the body and not in the mind, and could therefore only be exercised through rigorous activity. I believe this was known as humorism, like somebody's humors in their body, and which dealt with balancing the 4 humors in our bodies to cure a person. And if you were sick, it's because one of your humors was off. And you know what the 4 humors were?
No.
Blood, phlegm, black bile, and yellow bile.
Oh, God.
What the fuck were they eating back then? I was like, blood and phlegm, sure. And the guy's like, oh, but my black bile's off. I'm like, dude, I've never had that. What do you mean? He's like, well, it's been mixing with me yellow bile recently, and it's not been making me feel good. It's like,
I've seen my fair share of yellow bile from the goddamn dogs, but black bile?
Wait, the dogs gave you yellow bile, or they have yellow bile?
they've thrown up just like yellow foam. Dogs
Oh
just be doing
yeah,
that.
they do be foaming.
Yeah.
Little pieces
They get
of
all
grass in
foamy.
there. Get a little piece of
Yeah,
grass.
sometimes there's some grass. Sometimes there's just some brugs.
It almost
But it's just
it almost
it's
looks
just yellow foam.
Brugs. It almost looks like one of those really fancy restaurants where there's just like pieces of glass and then just like foam. I mean pieces of,
bubble.
not glass,
Big
pieces
bubble.
of grass and like foam, and you're just like
Yeah.
in a big ass plate with a little
Yeah.
shit stain on the edge.
Yeah, the plate is huge, but the meal is small.
It's a fucking scallion.
A single scallion. Just
It's a
covered
scallop
in
with a-
dog puke.
It's a scallop. It's one scallop with the scallion and a scalding hot scales
A quarter of a
of
peppercorn.
skewers.
A
What?
peppercorn. A
And
quarter
one
of a peppercorn.
and one peppercorn. Anyway, so yeah, this bitch had too much black bile in his stomach. Apparently, what the fuck? Never had black bile. So,
Is that just diarrhea?
oh shit,
Black bile.
mine's
What
not
is it?
black. Mine's red. Blood red.
Uh,
I got another humor coming out my ass. Got phlegm coming out too. What are you looking at? Black bile.
I
You're
googled
probably-
it.
You're probably looking at some like horrible medical pictures, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're like,
Crying and screaming.
well, while you look
yeah,
at any updates, looks like
Not
black
really.
bile, huh?
There's a picture of an Asian man throwing up like black ink onto his cell phone.
Well, that's because he probably ate a fucking squid or something.
The article says social study finds no clear link between social use and uncontrollable vomiting of black bile.
Oh man, he got near the bag.
It's an Onion article, so
Oh, okay. Okay, so this guy named Alexander Cruden, a writer who was briefly incarcerated in Bedlam. There was a couple writers, and kind of a fun thing. The guy who was the biggest contributor to the Oxford Dictionary was held in here.
Daddy Oxford.
No, his name was something else. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there was a guy with the last name Oxford in here, and he wasn't the guy.
Oh wow.
Fucking
He must have just been
bullshit.
confused.
I know.
Confusion was one of the reasons to get locked up.
He said peculiar, and they thought he was a fucking witch. They're like, that's not a word. That's not a fucking word.
Into the hole you go.
He's like, tandem. And everyone's like, kill him. Why can't I make up a word? Shoom.
Hexagonal.
Shoom.
Shoom?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's a word.
What?
Yeah.
I'm Googling it. Shoom. What is Shoom? Shoom Digital Solutions are the industry's most comprehensive digital suite.
There you go.
Yep, that's a word. So, Alexander Cruden, a writer who was briefly incarcerated in Bedlam, said bitterly of the physicians there, "But is there so great merit and dexterity in being a mad doctor? The common prescriptions of a Bethlemical doctor are a purge and a vomit and a purge over again, and sometimes a bleeding, which is no great mystery." So, which brings me to my next thing. When they weren't spinning motherfuckers in chairs, they were cutting them open and bloodletting them.
You ever see
So-
they did them at the same time?
Oh my
Spin
god,
'em
how
up, and then do a little slice and let them spin it out and just
Oh
paint
my-
the walls.
it's like that cool art. You
Yeah.
ever do you think they like put them? Okay, you ever seen that guy that like he like pokes holes in the bottom of like a paint bucket and then puts paint in it and then he swings it on a rope over a canvas?
And it makes like a perfect like.
It's like the swinging motion makes it. Do you think they did that with the guy in the chair?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd buy that art. Honestly,
too.
if somebody was like, "Hey, do you want to buy this art for $100?" I'd be like, "What is it?" And they're like, "We made it with an insane guy's blood." I'd be like, "I want that in my house." Actually, yes.
I'll give you 100,000.
I'm like, "Is this the start of a Hellraiser movie? Like, what the fuck?" I'll give you $10,000.
Good movies.
They're like, "Oh, it's free." The catch is that that guy has to live with you now.
Done.
The insane guy. And he's
Start
really
making your own
pretentious.
art.
He's really pretentious about the art too. But yeah, so they're bloodletting people, and then the last thing they would do constantly was they didn't like have electricity, and they weren't electrocuting people, but they were cold plunging people, like just basically dunking them in ice cold water to like shock their
Damn.
system.
That's crazy because white dudes be doing that for free these days.
Yeah. Yeah, they catch Joe Rogan, and they're just slamming him in this cold plunge, and they're like, "Be normal! Stop being fucking crazy!"
Be upfront about your promotions.
Actually, you know what? That might be... that they're still trying to... Because Joe Rogan says some questionable shit. I'm like, get him in the cold plunge. We need to fix that brain. So, like I said, the chair spinning did nothing to help these patients, but it did result in horrible vertigo, which eventually led to the research of vertigo, which is a win, I guess?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, they're like, we should look into this thing that we caused. You know, some people had to suffer so we could have it good, okay?
It's true.
Like the guy who ate all the fucking mushrooms.
Like the guy that just like went out and ate all of them until he got sick and was like, "Oh, don't eat this one."
Yeah, somebody's got to figure out that that those mushrooms kill you.
Imagine being the first person to figure out that he was allergic to a rattlesnake bite. That must have sucked.
Allergic to a rattlesnake bite?
Yeah.
You're joking. Okay, I guess since you're laughing, fuck you. I thought there's actually people who are like more reactive.
Almost everybody's allergic to it. I'm not, but been bit multiple times.
I wake up in the morning and it's like that's my coffee.
At my alarm clock, it opens a cage and a rattlesnake is let loose.
Your alarm clock is the rattle.
Well, it's beautiful though because you slowly wake up to the sound of the rattle.
Yeah,
you get a strike on the cheek.
Yeah, it's preparing me for
you up.
It's preparing me for fatherhood. I just like now I'm so excited to have a baby with a rattle. I'm so excited. The only problem is I'm allergic to babies.
I'm just deep in the red because I keep killing the rattlesnakes and they are expensive to buy. I got a guy, but it ain't cheap.
Someone needs to take your blood out of your body right now.
Someone needs to take my life.
Someone needs to. How can you see into my eyes? Okay. Spin this man in a chair already. So over the years, they gained the reputation of filthy, having waste constantly backed up into its pipes because I guess it was built over a sewer, and they probably had those. What are those things called? Like something bergs, where it's just like a big pile of shit in the sewer. They're called like
shitbergs, like an iceberg but made out of shit.
Yeah, but they're called something else. They're called like fatbergs. I think they're called fatbergs.
I don't know about this.
I swear to God. Wait, type in fatberg. Wait, fatberg. Not fat burger. Wait, not fat burger. Fat. Oh yeah, look, a fatberg.
Oh,
Is a rock-like mass of waste matter in a sewer system formed by the combination of flush, non-biodegradable solids with fat, oil, grease deposits.
it's just wet wipes and zins.
Oh, so mentholy, that fucking rock-like shit. Oh my God. What if I was like, hey, I'll give you $50,000 right now, but you have to put this fatberg in your garage for 5 years. And it's big.
How much was it?
Okay,
How much money?
$50,000 for 2 years. But you have to explain it to people when they come over, and they go, "What is that?"
I love my garage though.
And you can't lie. I know. That's the catch. But do you love $50,000 more?
I don't know.
Think about
I'm
it.
having a real dilemma with this one because the garage is the only part of the house that's mine.
That's true. And you're kind of forming your own fatberg in there if you really think about it.
Oh yeah, there's that corner I throw all my wet wipes.
I like the picture of you shitting in the bathroom and then wiping your ass in the garage.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Is that weird? I like the
No.
warmth when I'm wiping.
I like the industrial feel.
I also like being chased by giant house spiders while I'm
That's
wiping.
I was going to say, I like when the rats watch me do it. So over the years, it gained the reputation of being filthy, having waste constantly backed up into its pipes, cruel as inmates starved in their cells, and crooked as the workers would steal food items either for themselves or they would just sell it back to the inmates. Or not the inmates. I'm sorry. The patients.
They're selling the fatbergs to the patients?
No, they're not selling fatbergs. They would steal like loaves of bread, and the inmates were like, God, not inmates. I'm sorry. They were kind of prisoners, but the patients were like, hey, "Oh, that's our bread. We're gonna eat that." And he's like, "No, but if you give me $1, I'll one shiny coin, and you get a bread." They do kind of shit like that. So they would basically like scam them. But they should be getting.
I can't get over fatbergs. Who named it a fatberg?
The British.
And I'd love to see the greatest fight of all time. A lot of people say the greatest fight of all time is a grizzly bear versus a silverback gorilla. But I think the greatest fight of all time would be a fatberg versus a rat king.
Ooh, that would be good.
Would be good. You got your dice on you? You want to do a quick round?
Do a quick roll. So, the hospital claimed that the problems were due to underfunding. So they thought, I got a brilliant plan. Starting in the late 16th century, swarms of people would show up at the gates of the asylum during public holidays to purchase admittance to the hospital so they could amuse themselves by watching the mad inmates like zoo animals or a freak show. They would literally go in and like fucking run up and down the halls and like, we'll get into it, but they would like taunt these like insane people and like cause like horrible distress. And it says some defended these actions as they believed that by allowing the public to see things that they would not turn away from immorality and vice, which were sorry, let me say that again. They believed that if the normal public saw these people, they would go, "Oh shit, we should not be immoral and have vices," because that was believed to have what caused madness that these people were suffering from. So just by being immoral and having vices made you crazy, and they're like, "Oh, definitely don't want to show up here." So it's a good thing you came and saw it.
Too much Jorkin.
Jorkin the pianist.
Yeah, Jorkin the pianist would definitely make you go crazy.
It makes me go crazy to not. I'm like, Sir, this is
12 hours without Jorkin, my pianist.
So this is a DMV. So, one witness to such events stated, 100 people at least were suffered unattended to run rioting up and down the wards, making sport and diversions of the miserable inhabitants, some of whom were provoked by the insults of this holiday mob into furies of rage. Unrestricted public access continued until 1770, so like almost 200 years, after which time visitors required a ticket signed by a governor of the hospital. So they're like, shut that shit down. And as distasteful as it was to have crowds flocking to make fun of the mentally ill, some historians have speculated that the lack of public oversight after 1770 allowed for more flagrant abuses, which is like, you can't fucking win. They're like, yeah, you can't have people like throwing tomatoes at you and like taunting you every day. And they're like, good news. We're getting rid of the people that are going to call you names and throw shit at you. And you're like, thank God. And they're like, bad news. We're doing it now. Like, what the fuck? So the years 1814 and 1815 proved a turning point in Bedlam's history. Edward Wakefield, a Quaker philanthropist and leading advocate of lunacy reform, visited several times during 1814 with the aim of inspecting conditions. Fearing bad publicity, Bedlam personnel tried to keep Wakefield out, but he eventually gained entry in the company of an MP and a governor of the hospital. He found that inmates were not classified in any logical manner as both highly disturbed and quiescent and croissant patients were mixed together. So I'm guessing not highly disturbed. Quiescent. I don't know that word. That's it. They were mixed together indiscriminately. Patients were chained to the wall sometimes with thick iron rings around their necks, and it was said that chains are universally submitted for the straight waistcoats. In 1818, a former Bedlam inmate, Urbane Metcalf, described the case of a man named Popplestone, whose leg rotted off as he Stop laughing. Not Popplestone.
More like Hopplestone.
It sounds like he sounds like a D&D.
He's got one leg now.
I get
Is that
it.
a hop?
I get it. He sounds like a D&D character. Popplestone. But whose leg, it's not funny, whose leg rotted off as he was chained up for such a lengthy period that the metal cut into his flesh.
Oh, I thought it just kind of fell off.
It might have. There was also the infamous case of American Marine James Norris, whose intestines burst out after being confined in chains for over a decade.
How?
I don't know how that fucking happens.
How? His intestines were just like, I'm done. I'm out of here.
So
I'm sick of this.
I saw a fucking contraption where it was like around his waist, and then it went and connected to it went around his waist, and then from the back of his waist, an iron bar went up his back and connected to the wall. Like he was almost like hanging from he's like an ornament.
A collectible doll.
Yeah, he's like an ornament. And I think maybe that's what it was, where he was like hanging from it just quite a little bit, and it was like digging into his stomach or something. I don't know, but definitely fucking horrible. So some other severe cases consisted of keepers drowning patients during baths and covering it up, and horrible cases of sexual assault that resulted in pregnancies. Very, 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 very bad shit. In 1815, the British House of Commons Select Committee on Madhouses. Wow, wait. The British House of Commons Select Committee of Madhouses. That's a committee, all right. Examined the conditions under which county asylums, private institutions, and charitable asylums treated their patients. This resulted in principal physician at Bedlam, Thomas Munro, being forced to resign for wanting in humanity towards his patients. So he was just like a huge fucking piece of shit who had no empathy. And by the mid-1800s, a man named William Hood, who would become a physician in residence at Bedlam, decided the hospital needed to be completely changed. He separated patients by criminal record and diagnosis and moved the asylum to a more rural location to improve quality of life. Although this might have been a little too late, too little too late, some improvements were a great start. The hospital still suffers from its fair share of controversy, as questionable and negligent deaths still seem to plague the legacy of Bethlam Hospital. But what I find more haunting than everything is what we don't know. What really went down behind those walls that wasn't reported on, wasn't witnessed. We may never know, as the dead can't speak, but they can remind us in other ways, because in 2013, construction workers at the original hospital unearthed a startling mass grave dating back to the 1500s with more than 20,000 patients and skeletons inside.
Holy shit.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
Actually insane. And to be completely honest, like, as most people know, negligence in asylums or mental institutions was like a thing until like the 70s, 80s.
Oh, it was the norm. I
Like-
think even probably like later than that.
I can't remember if we covered it. I think we did like very early on, but Geraldo Rivera has like a very famous he's like a news anchor or investigative reporter. He has like a very famous expose where he went to a mental institution and it was completely fine. Everybody was like dressed well, cleaned, looking fine, and in their rooms, and and then he went back a week later unannounced and snuck in through the back. People were like chained to walls, covered in shit, like insanity. And he's just like, "Oh, this is what they do. They put lipstick on a pig and go, look, everything's fine." I don't mean.
But
it's
a pig with a Robert.
itself.
It's a pig with a Nixon mask on.
Oh my god, I had no idea what the fuck that was. I thought I was gonna die. I thought monsters were on this earth.
All right, Tobin. For our 200th episode, I thought I would take us back to some of our roots.
Oh.
And,
Why did I make a sexual noise? I didn't mean to do that.
Because you heard root, and you're a tree sexual. And talk about the cornerstone of what this podcast is all about. A good old-fashioned cryptid.
Oh, yeah, baby. I was actually going to do a cryptid. I was going to do one, but they're hard to find ones we haven't covered.
I know. And I'm almost positive we haven't done this one. So today's focus will be the Owl Man.
Whoa. Don't know him.
Yeah, I didn't either. So believe it or not, the Owl Man is exactly what it sounds like. But let's get into the story. So in Cornish folklore, Cornish being the people who are covered head to toe in corn, the Owl Man.
No wonder they fear the Owl Man.
The Owl Man, a.k.a. Cornish Owl Man, a.k.a. the Owl Man of Cornwall, is a owl-like humanoid creature who stands tall like a man, but has all other features as an owl. With the head of an owl, large wings like an owl, and the foul-smelling beak breath of decaying field mice like an owl. The first ever reported sighting of the Owl Man took place in the town of Monnan, Cornwall, on April 17th, 1976. So, like, this is a fairly new creature, mid-70s. It's a year older than the first Star Wars. We always bring that up. I don't know why. Shit always happens in, like, 77 or 76 in my stories, and I always just bring up the fact that A New Hope came out in 77. And
yeah.
And what's the other big thing that happened that year? That I always bring up?
You always bring it up. It's not Nike. It doesn't have anything to do with Nike, does it? It's 77. Somebody
has to do with France.
Oh, Last Execution.
By
guillotine.
Yes. The last public execution by guillotine was in 1977.
Hell yeah. Can I ask one thing?
Yes.
Where are the Cornish?
Cornsville. Kentucky.
Stop fucking with me. I like how you picked a state that I don't even think is known for corn.
The Cornhuskers.
Cornwall, Iowa. I can't do that one.
That's Nebraska.
Oh yeah, they're the corn. Yeah, they have corn, Nebraska. But where are the Cornish? Because I have a thing of. Oh. Okay, so
pretty sure.
I have to say this. This is slightly embarrassing, and I hope it's not cancelable. But you know, Cornish game hens. Until I was like 14, maybe older, I had never eaten a Cornish game hen. I did not really know what they were. I'd heard the words, and then I worked at a grocery store, and I was like, "Oh my God, these are the tiny chickens. These are the Cornish game hens."
Yeah.
And I went, "Oh my God, they're called Cornish game hens?" I thought they were called Cornish gay men. And I was like, that is the craziest name I've ever heard. I was like, who named that? That sounds offensive. Cornish gay men. I don't know if I told that on this podcast, but every time I see him, I can't help but think of a gay man.
Holy shit.
Pretty good.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know. For years I thought something was wrong with the Cornish people. Turns out something was wrong with me.
All right. So
I was like,
Cornwall...
I'm like, do they have tiny gay men over there? And are they eating them?
Oh boy.
So good.
So, yeah, Cornwall is a country on England's southwestern tip. It's a small little region.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Big gay population.
Yeah, big time. So let's get into the story where we have our first sighting. So the Melling family, consisting of Donnie, his wife, who is not named, and his two young daughters, June, who was 12, and Vicky, who was 9. The family set out on a nice little family camping trip near the town of Monaghan. And the family decided to have themselves a nice little picnic, rolling out the beautiful picnic blanket, placing down that classic wicker basket to get, the type of basket that would get a little old boo-boo all hot and bothered.
I hope I had the plates and the silverware strapped with leather straps to the lid.
Hey, boo-boo! They decided on a nice little spot in a wooded area next to the medieval Saint Maunan. Fucking.
I like how you just said that like 5 seconds ago.
I know, but the problem is there was a typo, and it just kept kind of going. It was Mawnaana. I don't know. It just kept going. That really fucked me up.
Manana. Manana. Oh, grew.
And the St. Stephen Church. Overlooking the not creepy whatsoever graveyard outside the church, Mommy and Daddy set up the picnic. With the parents busy at work, Vicky and June thought it'd be fun to go play in the cemetery.
Wait, what the fuck? Wait, they're having a picnic and they're working? Wait, what?
They're like working on like setting up the picnic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought they left the picnic like while they were at work, and I was like, they left to go to work?
No, they're on a camping trip, and they went for like a little drive
so
down to a pretty area, and so the kids wanted to play on the gravestones, which is a great place for kids to play.
Desecrate, baby.
Yeah. So not long after the girls left, Mommy and Don Daddy heard screaming from the graveyard. The parents whipped their heads around to see their two young daughters running towards the car in fear for their lives. The Melling parents rushed to their daughter's side as the girls begged their parents that they had to get away and go home immediately. Mommy and Don Daddy said okay and hopped in the car, but went to the campsite, not home.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not gonna lie. If my kids were like, "We have to go home right now," I'd be like, "Guess what? We're not doing. Daddy,
This is my
Daddy,
day off.
Daddy needs this camping trip.
Daddy's not at the factory right now.
If Daddy can't,
wants to give you another sister tonight, and that's not going to happen at home, is it?
Daddy has a special book buried out here by a tree that he has to go find. Daddy, a wizard.
That reference.
I don't really know what it is either. I kind of liked how cryptic it was. I love it.
So once safely back to their campsite, the parents demanded the girls tell them what the hell was going on, and the girls gave in. The sisters recalled what they saw. While playing around on the gravestones, Vicky and June said they heard a strange sound which they couldn't describe or explain. Then they looked up and saw a large bird-like human hovering slightly above the church's tower. The girls were rattled, and Don Daddy let curiosity get the better of him. See, Don Daddy was a good daddy. Many daddies would have shrugged it off and say it was just their imagination, making them bad daddies.
I might be a bad daddy sometimes.
But Don Daddy was a good daddy, not a bad daddy.
Every good daddy has his breaking point. This
Yeah.
must be the first time they've done this shit.
Oh, Don Daddy, he's a good daddy. He'll get his breaking point. But
Who touched my book?
he, just because Don Daddy hits a breaking point does not mean good daddy Don Daddy turns into bad daddy. He stays a good daddy Don Daddy at his breaking point.
Is his name Don Daddy? What are you saying, Don? Is his name Don?
His name is Don, and he's a daddy, so he's Don Daddy. Okay. I rename almost half of the people I tell stories about, if you haven't figured that out by now. So Don Daddy went out in search and found a paranormal researcher, a Big Tony Shields.
Who does that?
What?
Excuse me, was this mid-camping trip and he called him out here?
So I guess there was like a fair nearby that he had a booth at.
David, do you understand how insane that sounds? Like,
Hey,
are you kidding me?
I didn't make this shit up. This is just what I read.
I just love it. It was like, honey, the children are scared. You must go to the nearest fair and find the carny with the booth. I love it. I would not bring that guy around my children. This is a bad daddy.
Who?
The paranormal investigator who works at a carnival booth. Do not bring
Big
that
Tony?
man around your
Big
children.
Tony Shields?
Do not bring Tony Shields around your kids. I can't. Any guy who's like, "What's your career?" Paranormal investigator. I'm like, bitch, you better have a deal with TNT or I'm walking. You better be fucking pretending to hear noises on TV.
So I gotta come clean because nowhere does it say Tony was a big guy. So I added big to his name. Because who doesn't love a big Tony? So as Don Daddy starts talking to Big Tony, he starts to craft this idea that Big Tony was a fake and was responsible.
What, giving away the fair? that he just up and left his booth with no fucking warning.
And he thought Big Tony was responsible for boosting his knowledge as a solution to his own made problems, accusing Big Tony for faking all the paranormal happenings around town to draw customers. Don Daddy is convinced Big Tony faked the Owl Man to scare his daughters in a gotcha moment. Big Tony pleads with Don Daddy that his accusations are false and that he needs to talk to Jane and Vicky about what they saw.
Okay, yeah, I'd be like, you're not going near. Oh my god, this is so predatory. I need to talk to the children alone.
What if this just turned into like not
He's
a
like
cryptid story? I'm just talking about a serial child abductor.
Big Tony's the cryptid. I love how Tony's like, you fucking lied about this
Big
shit.
Tony.
That's what I said. Did I say
You
Big
said
Tony?
Tony, Big Tony. I
So-
think you're thinking of Don. You're thinking of Don Daddy. Don
No.
Daddy and Big Tony.
Wait, did Big Tony accuse Don Daddy of making up the Owl Man to spook
No.
his children?
Other way around.
Oh.
Don Daddy thinks that Big Tony faked it.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay.
So good daddy Don Daddy said, "No way, you creep. You ain't talking to my goyles."
Okay, he's a good daddy.
Yeah, he's a good daddy. Being that the girls were still shaken up from the big event, and he did not trust Big Tony. So good daddy Don Daddy was kind enough to provide Big Tony with a drawing of the Owl Man that his daughter Jane had made, and gave it to Big Tony as a consolation. So now that Big Tony had a image and story, he quickly ran to write a story for the 14 Times, which is spelled FORTEAN, so not like the number 14.
I
but
wonder-
like with an A.
I wonder what they cover in that publication.
Well, it was the local newspaper for the area. And so he wrote about the sighting and included June's drawing with her address and bedtimes.
Tony goes to like write for. Tony goes to go back to his publication, Teen Beat. Like Tony's like a 50-year-old man writing for like a teen newspaper magazine.
So after the Mellings encounter, a number of eyewitness reports of spotting the Owl Man started to surface around town of Maonan. That word is hard for me to say. Maonan. Maonan. Maonan.
Help this.
So
this
Sally
Maonan.
Chapman and Barbara Perry, both age 14 at the time, encountered the Owl Man while on a camping trip a few months later. The two teenage girls said that the terrifying creature was standing and watching them from 20 yards away from their campsite. They said
That's
it
Big
was...
He had the Owl Man had a 7-Eleven taquito in his hand.
He had one of those visors on that poker players wear. You know, the see-through green ones.
People doing their taxes.
They
He
said
had
it was...
Skechers on.
They said it was as large as the man Big Tony.
Oh,
No,
wow.
They said, they said it was as large as a man with pointed ears, glowing eyes,
And a
sharp
boner.
claws. And sharp claws.
Okay, sorry.
Once the beast was spotted, it flew up into the trees and vanished into the night. It was said that these two girls also spotted the Owl Man in the same camping area as the Mellings. So he's in the same area.
He can't.
As time went on, more sightings were reported between 1976 and 1995. But like it wasn't like a huge number. It was just every now and then. But in the summer of 1988, a teenage boy reported an encounter with the Owl Man while on a vacation with his girlfriend and her family. While the couple went for a walk near the St. Stephen Church, they came across a figure standing in a tree about 15 feet above them. This time, the boy said the creature was about 4 feet tall. This guy got
Tony on
way
his
closer. We got way closer than anybody else did. Because I think it was like directly above them in the tree, like 15 feet away. And he said it was about 4 feet tall with a head full of feathers, a body of a man, and a flat face, pincers on its feet, and light gray. It was a light gray color with long wings. Terrified, the couple watched the creature not moving a muscle until it jumped down from the tree. walked around the tree, and once the couple broke the eye line of it, they took off sprinting. Another well-known sighting comes from an American student who was studying in the area of Malnan in 1995, which I believe was the last sighting. The student was either camping or just going on a stroll when she spotted the creature at St. Stephen Church. This student took their story to the press, sharing it with the Western Morning News, a daily released newspaper in the southwest area of England. And I should just delete this part because this is where, the fun thing about making a podcast comes in, where you find information about someone writing something like this, but you can't actually find the article itself.
Oh, yeah.
So don't actually have that account on it. I just know that it was available at one point. I don't know if it's a thing where no one ever saved it and then the site went down. So we don't have that account. We don't have the final account. So then Peter A. McHugh, author of Britain's Paranormal Forest, Encounters in the Woods, describes an owlman spotting he received from a woman named Barbara Fennell, which I brought up Barbara earlier, but this is a different Barbara, who was in charge of a paranormal investigation group from London. I was thinking about, at this point, do you think it's fair? Can we call ourselves a paranormal investigation group at this point?
Well, do you have to make money off of it? Because that's what I was thinking too. I was because if I want to know how much money they're making so I could fucking pivot if I have to, because I'd love to con people.
All right,
Nothing.
Big Owl.
Yeah, I'm Big Owl.
Maybe I'll post on Craigslist. Be like, "You haunted? Let me come check it out." Just put it right out in the front. Just be like, "Hey, I'm starting out. You got a Bigfoot? Let me come check it out."
And then you just walk into their house, they're like, my house is haunted, and you just start screaming and run out. You're like, "Yep, that's haunted."
Give me $50.
I can guarantee you're gonna have to move.
Yeah. You're going to have to give me this house.
And they move, and then you move in. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Have you seen The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox?
No.
He's
same thing?
It's a Peter Jackson directed movie in the late 90s, and Michael J. Fox plays a paranormal investigator who can actually see ghosts, and he's friends with them, so he actually has them move shit around the house and are there, and then he pretends to get rid of them. So he's conning people because he's friends with all the ghosts and he can see ghosts.
Yeah.
And it's actually a fucking great movie. It turns into an awesome horror movie, but Gary Busey's son is the main villain in it.
Okay.
And he plays a serial killer who died years ago. And anyway, watch it. It's a fun watch. Really good.
Is he still alive?
Gary Busey and his son are both still alive. Buttered sausage. Buttered sausage. Why don't we talk about buttered sausage?
I know Gary Busey is still alive. I thought his son was a very good niche actor. He was very good at the roles he played.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
he's played a serial killer in numerous movies.
Yeah, he's good at that.
Runs in the family.
I was just wondering where he went.
Oh, I wonder. Let me see. Gary Busey's son.
Check his IMDb.
Anyway, what you can continue.
Okay, so yeah. A member of her team claimed to know someone who had an encounter with the Owl Man, who McHugh named Kate. Barb met with Kate, who testifies that she saw her friend Anne, who was walking along the road near St. Stephen Church. As the two got closer to each other, Anne began to cry and act frantically, pointing at the church, claiming she saw a man with wings. Kate wrote in her official statement to Barbara, so this is the quote, "I looked back and saw a huge Birdman-like creature starting to fly towards the farm. It was sort of rising after taking off. It seemed about 4 feet long and had a pointy beak and huge eyes. They were not red or anything, but they were looking at us." Talking about the eyes. Here's the thing. though it had human-like features such as a mouth and lips, but with a beak where its nose would be. The wings were the scariest part. They were almost like a huge feathery cloak, which seemed to move together as it flapped. They hardly seemed to separate, like a bird's wings do. Even to this day, I've never seen anything so bizarre as that. The two girls, Anne and Kate, hid in the bushes while the creature watched them from a distance, with the only sound they could hear being the flapping of its wings. Eventually, the monster got bored and flew off into the woods, leaving the two girls terrified by what they witnessed. Kate told Barb... What?
Would you be scared of, like... Sounds like a big bird, right?
Yeah.
That's not that scary, right? Would that freak you out just by, like, the size of a bird?
No.
I think it would need to have human-like... I might have missed it, but does this thing have human-like features as well as bird-like features? Because that would freak me out. But if it just looked like a bird with, like, a human body, like the size of a human, I probably wouldn't be as scared.
So what that story just said was that it had human lips and a mouth, and then its nose was like an owl's beak.
That's a little fucking weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's more just the unknown that's a little scary, but
yeah,
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I don't think there's a single bird in the entire world that scares me. Like, I understand like how big their talons are and stuff, but I also know that birds are very light because they have very thin, weak bones.
Hollow bones, actually.
Yeah, you know, they can dice me up a little bit, but I think if I got one good punch in, I'll just break every bone in its body.
Yeah.
Some of those Mongolian warbirds are a little scary, but I think if I had like a stick, I would just send it out of the ballpark. Just crack it.
Peregrine falcon is the fastest animal.
I don't care about speed.
Yeah, but what if that thing hits you at like how fast? Wait, how fast?
It'll break its neck and I'll get knocked over and get back up.
Oh my god, this thing can fly. David, guess how fast a peregrine falcon can fly?
300 miles per hour.
240 miles per hour.
That wasn't too far off.
That would break your neck.
You got me in the neck.
I mean, god damn. How'd they get them birds so fast?
Now, Google for me, how fast does like a paintball go?
How? Paintball go. Oh, it's an FPS.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Okay, paintballs can travel up to 300 feet per second or 200 miles per hour. Okay.
So it's kind of like getting shot with a big paintball.
Paintball. You know what they call birds? The paintballs of the animal kingdom.
The big paintballs of the sky. I'm just saying, if I see that bird coming and I time it and I lead with my fist and I connect with the beak,
I think you're
I might break my hand, but it's just gonna explode.
What if it hits you in the mouth?
Oh, you think it's gonna catch me off guard?
You think you're like an anime character, like meeting the punch right at the fucking time. Like, who are you? Oh my god.
Nah, I'd catch it by the neck and snap it and drop it.
Oh, Thanos shit.
Where was I?
I'm having a Thanos summer.
Okay, the fast bird might hurt me, but I would think I would still survive and the bird would not.
Yes, you have a much higher probability of surviving that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to call up Mythbusters. Can a man survive a peregrine falcon hit?
Yeah.
I'm interested.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, like an emu. Like an ostrich.
Oh, those fucking scare me, dude. Those things can gut you.
I would drop it.
That thing has a hook.
So do I. I got hookworm.
I got a right hook that'll fucking. Oh, that would scramble its big egg.
Yeah.
You
What you do is as it charges you, you do a roll behind it. You grab it with each leg on your shoulder. You pick it up, power bomb it backwards, knocks it unconscious. You jump on top of it. You tie its neck in a knot, and it can't breathe.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, can you even snap a emu's neck or a ostrich's neck? It's so lengthy.
With the
it's
right
like
tools.
It's like spaghetti.
Well, if it's like spaghetti, then you tie it in a knot and you pull it tight.
It's true. See, that's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Now we got PETA on our asses.
Oh,
So
PETA.
Kate told Barbara that over the years, no one ever believed her and Anne, even with the rumors of the Owl Man in the area. And over time, Kate still held true to what she believed and ignored the naysayers. She knew that that was not just a simple owl, but the Owl Man. So looking at the evidence to support the existence of the Owl Man, when comparing every eyewitness's story, each sighting occurred within a small area surrounding the St. Stephen Church and like the nearby campgrounds. So like a very small area. For one reason or another, every person that spotted the Owl Man was either a teenager or younger. So that's probably a reason to lock up the Owl Man.
Lock up Big Tony. That's Big Tony, dog.
Big Tony's behind bars.
They're
Where
like,
every Big Tony belongs.
For some weird reason, it was always children. Like, not a weird reason.
Yeah. So another strange thing, aside from the one boy, the rest of the eyewitnesses were girls. And they all described him with the same physical features.
Boner.
For the most part. Like a few of them were like a little different, but I think that also had to deal with the fact that sometimes he was flying in the air and sometimes he was perched.
Fair.
Luckily, one of the shared experiences that they all had was that the Owlman would at most just watch them, but never approach or get hostile. Unless, of course, he had some victims that did not survive to tell their tale. You know who I think the Owlman was, and it's not Big Tony?
Who?
Drake.
Whoa!
The miners, the young women, the owl thing. He loves his owls.
If you look at the OVO, it looks like two eyes and an owl nose. OVO?
Yeah. And Drake is a cornball from Cornwall.
What? And did you mention Millie Bobby Brown?
She actually saw the Owl Man.
English, too.
Yeah. The
And
dirty of the better.
Is that an English girl?
she was like in an interview once talking about carrots, and she was like, "Oh, I love carrots. The dirtier the better."
And then they cut to the picture of fucking Wallace. Yeah. Or which one's the person? Gromit? Or
I think it's Wallace. I think Wallace is the human. Gromit's the dog.
Yeah. Oh my god. Dirtier the better. God, that makes it great. Drake, yeah, because his symbol's the owl. That makes sense. Okay, I like that. I like that theory.
Yep.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We love telling you stories, and we love when you stick around and listen. If you guys want any more information, you go to our Instagram at Camp Strange Podcast. Click the link in the bio for any merch. Send an email to campstrangepodcast@gmail.com.
Click the link in the black bile.
What? You cut out completely.
Oh, yeah? I said click the link in the black bile.
That's pretty good. I like that. Click that shady link. If you guys...
When you said bio, I thought you said bile. And then I thought, oh, yeah, what the fuck is black bile?
No one knows still. We got to figure that out.
Yeah.
I got to get real sick to figure it out. If you guys want to share this with a friend, do that. And rate, review, subscribe wherever you're doing that at. Who cares? David, do you have anything to say?
Boy, if you've listened to every episode, then you should be arrested. This is our 200th original.
Yeah, we're gonna
single
chain.
episode.
We're gonna chain you to a wall. We're gonna like definitely
spin you
put
in a
you in
chair.
an asylum. Yeah, we're gonna spin you in a chair. Go to your local park and twist that swing.
But yes, no, this is a milestone nonetheless, and thank you to anyone or anyone who has listened to all 200 episodes, or even if you only listen to like 2 or 3. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, and don't really tell us how you feel about the people who like listen to it too, and they're like, "Are you fucking? That was bad," because it's not. It's subjective.
Hey, go! If you haven't, give us a review. Only if it's 5 stars.
I don't need honesty in my life right now. I'm fragile. I don't need it. Okay.
Oh man, a 4-star review right now would send me spiraling.
It would send me spinning in a chair.
I would become everybody's problem.
I would become the Owl Man for sure. Anyway, anything to say before we leave, David?
That was what I was just doing.
Oh shit, sorry. Yeah, and don't forget to stay strange.